Now at 9, how Muncie Community Schools are making changes to keep students safe.
And one Ball State Club is looking for mentors for elementary students. Find out how you can get involved.
Tax season is here. We spoke to students about resources on campus.
And the latest on the first day of former attorney Alex Murdaugh's murder trial.
A cold and chilly weekend ahead, but I'm tracking a warm-up next week coming up in my full forecast.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Anna Chalker.
And I'm Connor Simpson. This month, Muncie Community Schools added security measures in their middle and high schools. NewsLink Indiana's Evan Chandler had the chance to speak with a few key players in the process.
Students walking into Northside Middle School are now met with a new face in the morning, a security guard with a metal detecting wand. With growing concerns of student safety, Muncie Community School Superintendent Leanne Kwiatkowski said being proactive is the goal.
We've seen instances of elementary students bringing things they shouldn't, but overwhelmingly, if things are being brought into schools, it's at the secondary level. And so we decided let's first start out and see how things work at our secondary level, and that's where we'll begin.
A statewide program launched in 2018 offered free handheld metal detectors for schools. Now helping MCS use them is owner of Legacy Life Security Solutions, Robert Scaife. As a detective for 12 years, Scaife anticipates similar police-style training for his employees.
I was on the police department. I know the training that I had to go through on the police department, and so those are going to be the same requirements that I will require for all of our employees.
Legacy Life Security Solutions started working closely with Muncie Community Schools in July 2022. With one semester of school under their belt, there's been good feedback so far.
We hear a lot from teachers and administrators, and they're just happy that we're actually providing the security, that we're present, that they see us walking around, that we're interacting with kids, that whenever they need us, we're there and we're available.
While Scaife's main priority is keeping students and staff safe, he has created another goal for the 9 schools his company is in charge of: mentorship.
We love to interact with the kids, we want to be a resource, and we want to help out any way we can in our community.
With potential partnerships in the works, some wonder if security measures will need to go any further.
I hope we don't have to ever get to the point where we have metal detectors for students to be able to walk in schools. And so we hope that this is just a good deterrent and it will help us stay safe.
In Muncie, Evan Chandler, NewsLink Indiana.
Ball State has an on-campus opportunity for students looking to become future educators. College Mentors for Kids has open applications for anyone looking to become a mentor to a local elementary student. College Mentors for Kids is a nationwide university program, and Ball State's chapter is currently looking for mentors to continue one-on-one work with students. President Paige Lickenhouse has gained what she calls a valuable experience over her 2 years of participation.
We're almost always looking for new mentors because we do need a 1-to-1 ratio, and we have close to 120 little buddies that come to campus every week. Just seeing the kids come on campus every day gets so excited and so happy to be with their mentors. Super fulfilling, and it's a great experience.
The program is already underway for this semester, but is accepting rolling applications. To apply, you can visit the university's website.
January 23rd marked the beginning of tax season, but some Ball State students may not know where to start.
NewsLink Indiana's Madeline Kerr is here to tell us more about how you can prepare for tax day.
Absolutely. There can be a lot of confusion when it comes to filing taxes, especially with young adults. And there are a lot of different forms to choose from depending on your type of work and where you get your income. Even though many students are still dependents or don't make the required income needed to file their taxes, there are benefits to filing independently, whether that be to get a tax return or just to get some practice. I spoke with students on campus to see how they're preparing this tax season.
Never filed my taxes before.
College is a time when a lot of young adults are choosing to file taxes for the first time.
I'm dependent, but also I know nothing about taxes.
And I am still claimed, so it's no point in doing my taxes.
Or choosing not to file.
Because they'll get you if you get it wrong, and if I'm not good with numbers anyway, so I don't want to go to jail for being bad at math.
But there are resources for students.
I did it myself, just through TurboTax. They kind of just walk you through it. It's pretty easy.
And there may be things that students are missing out on. According to the IRS, if you have student loans or pay for education costs for yourself, you may be eligible to claim education deductions and credits on your tax return.
Now I'm gonna have to look into that because I do need money so bad.
Even if you have a lot of anxiety about filing taxes this season, there are a lot of different resources out there that you can take advantage of. And the IRS says that the best way to make sure that you're doing everything correctly is to start early so that you can take your time.
Madeline, thank you. And today was a good chilly day to stay inside and start filing those taxes.
Well, the good news is I hear the weather's going to start to warm up. Let's go ahead and take it over to Noah with the weather.
It was a very, very chilly, typical January day. We take a look around our region right now. Current temperatures 34 in Muncie, 33 in Indianapolis. Most places around the area staying in the mid-30s. Colder as you head west. Just sort of reflecting a very chilly February day here. If we look ahead at our radar, though, here we can see really not much happening in our area. A couple snow showers up north, lake effect type stuff around Michigan here. Clouds to the south, but really just a bitterly cold night ahead. And really the three things we're focusing on tonight in our forecast here. Tomorrow, just an absolutely frigid Friday morning. Wind chills are going to be in the single digits to even below zero at some points. A still cold and breezy weekend. We might see winds at up to 30 miles an hour Saturday and Sunday. And then a big warm-up coming up next week. Places may even see 50 by Thursday. So all this and more coming up in my forecast later in the show.
Noah, thank you. Now, are we finally seeing the beginning of disinflation? Well, experts say that depends. The first jobs report of 2023 comes out tomorrow, which will indicate the strengths of the jobs market.
Meanwhile, Washington is battling over whether or not to raise the debt ceiling before the U.S. potentially reaches default this summer. Gloria Pazmino helps us understand it all.
I will say that it is gratifying to see the disinflationary process now getting underway, and we continue to get strong labor market data.
The Federal Reserve raised interest rates again Wednesday by 0.25 percentage point, marking the lowest rate hike since last March, signaling perhaps their aggressive hikes are working to calm inflation. But on Friday, they will be watching the first U.S. jobs report of 2023 to see how the labor market is responding.
Particularly, we're going to be watching the average hourly earnings because that's going to give us a clear indication of whether or not wage pressures are coming down, even as the labour market stays very tight. If they are able to bring down wage pressures fairly well, whilst the labour market stays strong, that means that they can potentially achieve this soft landing that they've been aiming for.
But there is another cog in the economic wheel, the debt ceiling. President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are both signaling optimism that their two parties can come together long before the U.S. reaches default in June.
I think at the end of the day, we can find common ground. I really do.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell warned if an agreement is not made to raise the debt ceiling, the Fed won't be able to protect the economy.
There's only one way forward here, and that is for Congress to raise the debt ceilings, and any deviations from that path would be highly risky.
In Atlanta, I'm Gloria Pazmino.
Former attorney Alex Murdaugh's murder trial started today. What prosecutors say they think the unique motive was.
Plus, we're looking at 6 more weeks of winter. How you can avoid Groundhog Day syndrome next.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously. Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10.
Disgraced attorney Alex Murdaugh's murder trial picked up today with testimony about his alleged financial crimes.
Murdaugh is accused of killing his wife Maggie Murdaugh and his 22-year-old son Paul Murdaugh in June of 2021. Prosecutors say they believed his motive was to distract attention from various illicit financial schemes that were about to come to light. The judge is now deciding whether to allow the state to present the evidence of the alleged financial crimes. The chief financial officer of Murdaugh's law firm testified today without the jury present. Jean Seckinger said she confronted Murdaugh about the $792,000 in missing funds on the same day of the murders. At the time of the killings, there was a scheduled hearing in that case, and that could have exposed Murdaugh's financial records. Seckinger said the hearing was canceled due to Maggie and Paul's deaths, and afterwards the firm opted not to confront Murdaugh about the missing money. Murdaugh was also facing a lawsuit in connection to a boating accident that killed a 19-year-old girl.
Autism diagnosis rates in children increased threefold in less than 2 decades. That's according to a new study published in the journal Pediatrics. Researchers from Rutgers University focused on diagnosis rates of 8-year-olds in the New York, New Jersey metro area. They found between 2000 and 2016, the rate of autism diagnosis tripled. One reason for the higher rate of diagnosis may be that there is more awareness of autism within the general public. There are also better tools for diagnosing autism and more education about it.
We're looking at about 6 more weeks of winter at least, according to Puxatawny Phil. That's a groundhog's prediction after seeing his shadow this morning. But did you know there's a thing called Groundhog Day syndrome?
It may not be an official medical diagnosis, but it's the term some use to describe the feeling that you're reliving the same day over and over again. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has tips to help break out of your rut.
If you only had one day to live, what would you do with it?
Made popular by Hollywood, the idea of Groundhog Day syndrome is simple. It feels like each day is the same. You're reliving it over and over again.
Although it's not a psychological diagnosis, it is a feeling that is familiar to many.
Cleveland Clinic psychologist Susan Albert says when we do the same things over again, we can get bored. You may even feel trapped.
We get used to our environment and we start tuning it out. On the upside, this helps our brain to relax. We don't have to focus on everything. The downside is that we no longer experience things in the same way. It becomes less vivid and exciting.
Albert says breaking the boring cycle starts with being mindful. Each day, be present, both mentally and physically.
Feel, taste, touch. Look at that experience as if you are doing it for the very first time.
It's about waking up your mind. So Albert says try new things, meet new people, go to a different restaurant, taste a new food. Learn a new skill, try a different hobby, or take a trip somewhere you haven't been.
When we do new activities for the very first time, it triggers new neural pathways in our brain. It forms new connections. That's what leaves these lasting and vivid memories.
Breaking out of the norm can help you break out of your rut.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Albert says our brains love routine, so keep up with them, but add in some new twist.
Tracking a very, very warm up as we head into next week. I'll let you know just how warm it'll get and coming up in my full forecast after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward. Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
9:16 on your Thursday evening, and you're getting a live look at the Cooper Science Building. It was a pretty chilly day on campus walking to and from classes. You needed those extra layers, definitely.
Yeah, well, the good news is it may start warming up. Let's go ahead and take it over to Noah with the weather.
Yes, guys, a very bitterly cold day today, but at least we had some sun to melt off some of that extra snow we've had. If we take a look around the area at our current temperatures right now, we can see 32 here in Muncie, 33 in Indianapolis, most places in the low 30s, if not the high 20s here, really sinking down into that really cold air overnight. If we look ahead at our almanac here, we can see temperatures today really about where they should be for this time of year. You know, today's high was 38 degrees, average high is 37, obviously nowhere close to our record high of 63 set 3 years ago. I'm sure people would have liked a 63-degree day though today. Looking ahead at our next 12 hours though, we can see temperatures really sort of just bottoming out here into the 20s and the teens as we get towards the doldrums of the evening here. And that's really going to set up tonight's low to be very, very much in the 20s, low 20s, winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. If you're really heading out anywhere tonight or tomorrow morning, make sure to bundle up, grab the gloves, grab the beanie, go out and make sure the car's running fine. It's just going to be very, very cold over these next 24 hours. And if we look at the wind chills tomorrow morning, they're just really going to be brutal. We see at about 2 a.m. tonight, most places are still in the single digits, 7 here in Muncie, 6 in Indianapolis. But as we get towards the morning hours here, we can really see that, many of these places go below zero. In fact, most places in east central Indiana go below zero. -2 in Muncie, -3 in Anderson. Just really going to be kind of, it's going to be kind of terrible for your Friday morning commute here. And they're really not going to get much better as we get towards the afternoon and evening hours here. Most places not even going to make it out of the single digits here. 6 in Muncie, 8 in Anderson, a little bit warmer, 12 degrees in Indianapolis, but the feels like it's still just going to be very, very brutal out there. And it's really going to continue into Saturday evening or to Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon here. Not even going to make it to 20 until the afternoon on Saturday. So it's just going to feel very much like, a typical February day, just going to be very, very cold. Tomorrow, a little less sun, still going to be partly sunny, breezy, high of 23, winds out of the northwest at 15 miles an hour, gusting a little bit higher to 20. Just going to be another blustery cold minute here. But another thing today, very important though, is Groundhog's Day. In fact, Puxatawny Phil today even saw his shadow, predicting 6 more weeks of winter. But the real thing is, the temperature outlook really doesn't agree with that. If you take a look here, you see much of the east United States above average in terms of possibility of having warmer temps over the next 6 to 10 days, while the West Coast is still below average. So very interesting to see here who will be right here, Mr. Phil up in Philadelphia, or the Climactic Center. Taking a look here at our 7-day forecast, though, we can see temperatures really kind of sort of warm up as we get into the weekend, but then a really big warm up as we head into the work week next week. 52 degrees on Tuesday with some rain chances coming in, and I really think I'm looking forward to some of these 50-degree temperatures next week. It's really going to be nice.
Even though Puxatawny Phil told us that winter is going to be staying a little bit longer, it is going to be chilly. I think this last week we've experienced how chilly it's been, but I'm just glad that we're going to be seeing 50s next week. That's a good start. Good way to kick off the weekend, definitely.
Can't wait.
Noah, thank you so much. Now let's go ahead and send it over to Dylan with sports.
Thanks, guys. One program takes on a nationally ranked opponent, and another readies themselves for their most anticipated matchup of the season. All this and more next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Dylan Selke with sports. Number 8 ranked Ball State men's volleyball faces off against number 11 BYU tonight in Worthen Arena. NewsLink Indiana's Bryce from the Nest with news on the matchup. Bryce, what do you have for us?
Advantage, but BYU was able to close the gap and make it interesting for the entirety of the first set, taking a 20-18 lead late. MSU was able to pull away and win in overtime 26-24 in the first set. Set 2 started off tightly contested as well, with the set being knotted at 15-all just over halfway through the second. BYU was able to pull away at the end and took set 2 25-23. Entering set number 3, the Cardinals needed to gain momentum, but the Cougars rode their second set win and finished off the third 25-21. Needing to win set 4 to stay alive, Ball State is currently in overtime for set 4, so make sure you go over to Ball State Athletics.com to stay up to date on the game. The second of the home-and-home series for Ball State versus BYU is set for Saturday with the first serve at 3 p.m. Live from Worthen Arena, Bryce Dimsevich, NewsLink, Indiana.
Thanks, Bryce. To serve things over to the court, Ball State Men's Club Volleyball prepares for a tournament at Lewis University this weekend. Men's Club Volleyball is an organization on Ball State's campus that is run by and consists of students that want to continue to play volleyball at the collegiate level that otherwise wouldn't have a chance to do so. Along with the chance to compete against each other, the Cardinals get the opportunity to face off against other competitive clubs across the country in places such as Chicago and Kansas City. The squad will hit the road to Lewis this weekend as they gear up to take on Lewis, Bradley University, Loyola Chicago, and Indiana State. The members of the club feel that their mindset and preparation is a big factor as they get ready for the tournament.
I don't think about it. I don't want to get nervous, so I don't. I show up to practice, I do my best.
I just end up just messing around a lot, but with me messing around, it's also easing my mind a bit about it, so I don't worry about it less. And when I show up, my only mindset is just to have fun.
As club volleyball prepares for a weekend matchup, Ball State men's basketball also readies themselves for their most anticipated matchup of the season. The Cardinals set to take on Eastern Michigan Eagles tomorrow night at home. Ball State enters the contest 15-7 on the year after a tough-fought win Tuesday against the Bowling Green Falcons. On the flip side of the court, the Eagles are only 6-16 on the season, but are led by sophomore Imani Bates, one of the nation's top NBA recruits. Tip-off for the matchup is set for 6:30 p.m. And hey guys, I am super excited for this matchup. I'm hoping that Ball State brings the energy and brings the crowd and shows them what Worthen Arena is all about.
I think it's going to be a good matchup for them, definitely playing against Imani Bates and seeing what he's done in previous games. I think that's going to be a good challenge for them and Coach Lewis to kind of see like, okay, now it's game time to see how those games go out.
Absolutely. I'm super excited for it.
Dylan, thank you so much.
After the break, we'll take a look at our anchor picks.
Plus, we'll give you one final look at weather in moments.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Can you help me? I got it. Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The Powerball jackpot is now up to $700 million.
That's after no one matched all 6 numbers in Wednesday night's drawing to win the jackpot. The cash option, which most winners choose, would be at least $375 million. The chances of winning this Powerball jackpot stand at about 1 in 292 million. Saturday's drawing will be now considered the 6th largest Powerball jackpot in the game's history.
Now, if you happen to be the lucky winner of that jackpot, this is something you could probably spend that money on. Actor Seth Rogen is inviting some lucky folks over. The actor is renting out his space in Los Angeles, where he goes to be creative on Airbnb. According to the posting, the mid-century modern space is an ideal getaway if you're looking for inspiration or just for a good place to hang, Rogen says. He's also offering to throw in some pottery, with the renter writing, quote, "I'm a pretty good teacher." And there is the promise of a well-stocked fridge. I think that sounds like a pretty good deal myself. And it's all for only $42 a night, and this space is only available for 3 single nights. Stays in February 15th, 16th, and 17th. Airbnb will be open for reservations for the space at 1 p.m. Eastern on February 7th.
Well, $42 a night doesn't sound too bad. And in LA, it'd be a nice break from this cold Indiana weather.
It will. Let's go ahead and send it over to Noah for a final look at weather.
Yes, guys, you're going to remain cold through the weekend. Coldest probably tomorrow, but after that, it's nowhere but up. You're almost 40 on Saturday, 41 on Sunday. Monday, you're going to be near 50. Tuesday, high of 52. Rain chances will kind of batten down the temperatures there on Wednesday, but overall, still much warmer than what we've had before, and just looks to be a very warm day, a warm week, in fact, all the way till the end of next week.
Noah, thank you so much. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow morning at 8 for our morning show, Waking Up with Cardinal Weather.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.